been a while since my last mod video. Finally got one put together here today. I went and got myself addicted to a game called Paladins, and most of my time is actually weirdly spent in that game. But anyways, this one's going to be about upgrading the GPS in the 109s Hubsan. It should be good for the 501s as well, but I don't have that version to confirm it. But if it comes with the same GPS, it should be a pretty straightforward mod, and you can probably save yourself a lot of money. You have options how to mount it. I 3D printed this little mount here, and then I can just glue it on the back like this after, but I probably won't be using this. I'll probably end up mounting it inside here. And what brought me to it is I'm currently trying to do a upgrade video, or swapping out this motherboard video, because this one here was fried, and I ran into more things that were fried. The compass was fried, and the GPS was fried as well. So this video is just going to be showing you how to swap out the GPS and save yourself about $100 in doing so. If you look on eBay, they want $100 for this GPS, and if you look on Hubsan's website, I believe they want 56 US, and plus shipping and everything as well. So here's the GPS here. So I'm just going to drop the camera down now. So remove this guy here, and then remove the GPS. It was hot glued into place on mine. Yours might be screwed in. I have no idea if they're all glued in like that. And it also has, so this one originally had a little shield on it like this. I simply just popped this guy off to read the chip to make sure it was actually a Neo 6M. I'll show a picture, probably of higher quality, of the number on it. And in fact, it is just a 6M. So if you look on this page here, you'll notice the prices here is you can get one down from $9 Canadian. And if you get the ublox Neo M8N, it's actually an upgrade. So search eBay as well, because I ordered a whole bunch of these GPSs, the ones that are $9. I found a different company that's selling them or whatever, but they were only $4, and you could actually just use that one, except you have to solder, but big deal. But if you don't want to solder, the simplest one to get is that ublox Neo M8N one, or another Neo 6M or a Neo 7M. They're all compatible as long as it says it's for an APM. You're good to go. An APM or a pixhawk. The difference between the pixhawk and the APM, and here's a guy here, this is what it looks like. The differences between the pixhawk and the APM version for the GPS is you'll have two empty spots here instead of just the one spot. But besides that, the wire scheme is exactly the same thing. Now the problem is the compass. This guy comes with a built-on compass. I did get it to work with the compass and the GPS, except you have to mount the GPS upside down, and it's just too sketchy because it's too close to electronics, so it's best to have it way on the bottom. The compass, I'll just get a little bit into it. I don't want to spend too much time on this video on it. I did order more of these guys as well. You can order a brand new one of these compasses for like, I think 14 bucks plus $27 shipping or something. But again, you can find this chip here, this 833 chip for the Arduinos or whatever, and they only cost about $1.95. So I ordered a bunch of these as well, and I'm going to show you guys how to replace these things really dirt cheap as well. But that'll probably take a couple of weeks for them to come in from China. And same with the new GPSs. That's why I'll just show you with this guy and the no solder mod. First thing I always suggest doing is always drawing out your cables. So this is the guy that was originally attached to here. And it's best just that you do the same thing. And then we'll do both sides of it. This way you can easily always just go back to the Hubsan GPS. And on this guy here as well, it's labeled GVTR, and that means ground volt TXRX. But just because it's labeled there like that doesn't mean it actually corresponds with the same way the wires are. So always make sure you do a continuity test or whatever on the wires. And you'll notice on this end here, the wire is actually flipped, so the blue's on this side. So you can always confirm as well on the quad itself that that is 5 volts. and it is, because I've already tested it. I'm just going to unplug this cable, and we'll work with this guy first. So always, in your drawings, at least I do, always pins up. If you always keep to the same format, it's always easy to go back to. You'll always know that the cable wasn't upside down when you did the drawing. So blue, black, white, red. So blue is 5 volts, black is ground, white is TX, I believe. Yeah. And red is RX. Okay, so now the other side. The reason why you want to do both sides is just so you can always just go back. Or what I usually do is I usually just take pictures of all my stuff before I even touch something. And I can look through my pictures and just make sure I'm doing it right. So this guy has 6. The first 2 are blank. So this guy is red, white, blue, and black. So red is your RX, white is TX, blue is 5 volts, and black is ground. But we're going to be using this side here for our stuff. So I'm just going to plug this guy back in. And we know the layout here, so it'll be easy to change it. So again, here's the one for the APM 2.6. And this little 2 one is for the I2C for the compass. And this one here is for the GPS. So we're not going to be using this guy. Like I said, you can try it if you want. If you mount this, drill a hole and mount this whole thing on the outside of the quadcopter, but you also have to flip your GPS. And just to touch that a little bit, the chip inside, the 883 chip for the compass, you have to make sure it's facing the right way. On the APM 2.6 software, we can easily flip. Like we could actually just mount it this way, and in the software we do something called a roll 180, and we roll it in software, the compass, so it's pointing in the right direction. Now the one that came on this guy, it has a dot here, and in the 883 chip is like this, and that's the way it's supposed to face. But on this guy here, I'll just show you one that's already open that I've already tested with. The 883 chip, the same chip that's on here, is right there, this guy here. And the dot is on that corner there, and the words are facing this way. So this is how you have to actually mount it inside your quadcopter like this, with the GPS upside down. But again, the problem is it's just too close to electronics, and your quad might go all over the place. And I did get 9 satellites with it upside down, but I mean, really you want to have it this way anyways. But again, it's up to you guys to test it out. Okay, continuing on. So I'm just going to show you guys this to make this video a little bit quick because I keep babbling. So this guy here is a 5-pin, and on the pixhawks it would be a 6-pin, but again, it's the same layout. So here's the pin up for the GPS Neo. So the Neo 6M, I believe, or N. I'm not sure if it's an N or an M, but whatever. So you can use, again, any GPS that's good for an APM. So you can actually upgrade your GPS in your Hubsan to M8N, which you'll get more satellites faster and just more accurate. So the layout for the pins is like this. So again, always upside down with the pins facing you or whatever. Probably should have drawn it bigger here. So here's the blank here. On the pixhawks, you'll have 2 blanks. So the color codes for this, and this is important because on these GPSs, the color codes will be different. So you might have blue wires or brown wires or whatever. So they'll always be different. So yellow, green, and black. So this one uses the right color codes at least. So that's 5 volts. Yellow is RX and a green is TX. Now if you're going off the connection off the board on the APM, the RX and TX is actually backwards, but I'm just doing this. RX gets connected to RX on the other cable and TX gets connected to TX on the other cable, instead in reality where RX has to be connected to TX because RX is receiving and T is transmitting, so they kind of have to talk to each other. So just do this pin for pin, if that makes sense. That's not one, and then this is ground. All right, so you need a pin, which I had one. I actually have a nice little pen with a pin stuck on it. That's fine. Okay, so I'm not going to show you me mounting this inside it. I'm just going to show you it working. So here's the wires here or whatever. So what you'll want to do is remove these wires out of this 4 connector. So just use a pin or something. Just take your time with these because you can kind of wreck the end. So just be careful with them. And it can take a while, sometimes like 10 minutes to get all these out and back in properly. But you're saving yourself $100 by doing this, so take your time. Okay, so I got that connector off, so now you don't need this GPS or this cable anymore. And then here's your new cable here. So again, the same thing. Remove all these. Okay, so just put this guy away so you don't lose it in case you want to go back to it after. So here's your 4 pin now. So now here's the color codes and the pinouts. Okay, so the first one we're going to want to probably do is the 5 volts, and that's red. So with the pins facing up like this, we're going to do red, because red is our 5 volts. Again, take your time with these little guys. They can be a pain in the butt as well sometimes to get in there. And sometimes you'll just never go back in totally properly, so you might want to hot glue it after you have it working. Next one is black is ground, and again it's black again. So at least they used the right color code for that guy. Okay, so next is white is TX, and RTX here is green. It's okay if you get these backwards as well, the TX and the RX. You'll just get no satellites, so then you just have to swap them around after in case you got them backwards. Just don't get the voltages backwards, that's all. So white is TX. Well, we're really not after the colors here. So it's actually better just to kind of ignore the colors here. So we're just after the pin number and the TX. And I almost messed that up anyways, so because the TX is actually green. And I was playing with the yellow wire. Okay, and then the last one is RX, and RX is yellow. That's it. And in reality, how quick that was, you just saved yourself $100 for about 5 minutes of work. So, I mean, it's totally worth doing this. Plus, you can upgrade the GPS at the same time. Right, so I'm just going to raise the camera up and show you guys it kind of working. So I'm in my house right now, so I'm not going to get any satellites, obviously. I will if I go put it beside a window. So now this guy here gets plugged right into the GPS connector. Right there. So you're just going to want to make sure all the wires are actually pushed down. And then also just unscrew this guy here, take out the GPS, and you can mount this GPS, glue it into the case under here the same way it came. Or you can drill some holes and have it sticking out of your shell like this on top. But that's up to you guys. I'm just here to show you how to save some money and to get this done quickly. Ish. Okay, so it's not going to stay still for me, so whatever. So I'll just plug this guy in. So I believe this one doesn't have a light on the GPS until it actually finds the satellite. But I'm going to turn on the remote. Move this guy up here. So if you get a 0, no, you can't even see that. That's so messy. Let's see if I can get this in here. So see where it says GPS 0? That means you have it the right way. If it says GPS with no 0, that most likely that means you have your TX and your RX backwards. So this is just going to have to stay here for a minute or so and see if we get any satellites. Or I might just go move this by a window. I'm just going to put this guy down here. This light maybe. So eventually, once we get a satellite, a blue light should start blinking in this guy. But I'm in the middle of my house here on the main floor. So it's got quite a few floors to go through to get anything. So what I'm going to try doing is I'll just go place this by a window for a minute and then bring it back and just show you the blue light blinking. But leave that. Alright, so this took actually quite a while. I'm only getting 3 satellites, but I do get up to 9 or 10 or something like that outside. I just ended up breaking a cable or whatever, and it's extremely cloudy outside today. And yeah, but I'm probably just going to upload the video like this anyways. Just take my word. Well, I just got another, now I got 4. And that's in a house on a really, really cloudy day. So I'll just grab the quad. So I ended up having to swap out the GPS because I broke the cable by accident. But it's actually kind of handy because the compass that comes with this one is also a 4-pin, and I was able to swap it out. So it's still saying it's seeing something. Well, it was for a second there with that green blinking light. And it's pretty much stuck here. But if you punch this in Google, you actually get my address type thing or whatever, so that's kind of cool. Right. So the one more thing I'll show you guys quickly is just the GPS or the compass or whatever. I'm just going to unplug this. So again, you're going to want to take it out of this shell and mount it properly. Just be careful with these pins because they can kind of break. If you see here, I had to solder on the wires back on. I had to grab this from a different GPS or whatever. That was kind of annoying. So just be careful. Basically done showing you guys the GPS thing. I'll just quickly show you the compass, just it working. I'm not going to get too much involved in it. Here's the geo plug here on this board here, and a geo plug is here. So I'll just show you with this GPS here, it's the same thing. It's the white and blue wire here. That was the 2-pin on it before. And the white was the SCL and the blue is the SDA. And then here's the original cable that was connected to the compass or whatever that plugs in there or there. And the color code for this guy is the red is 5 volts, the white is ground, green is SDA, and black is SCL. And this guy just gets plugged in like this. And then the way I have it, when I use this one here, this was my testing one or whatever, it's 5 volts here, it's not 3 volts going to the compass. And then here's my 2 GPS wires for TX and RX, and these two would just get connected to the GPS port like that, and it works good. Okay. So I'll just plug this guy in, show you. So here where it says H, this is for the compass here. So now if I turn this, you can see it moving. So that 883 chip is communicating perfectly fine. So it's not like they're using any kind of special chips for it. Guys, that's about the end of this video. My next one will be about the compass maybe. If there's actually any interest in this. Just wanted to point out and show you guys how to upgrade the GPS. This is the original GPS that costs $100. Or you can get an 8MN GPS that costs anywhere from $13 to say $40. Or you can just buy the module like I did off eBay. They're not here yet, but I bought a bunch of these guys here. And there are 8MN versions and the 7 version and the 6 versions. And the price range was $4 to $7 for the 8MN one. And just make sure it's compatible with the APM 2.6. And you'll save a lot of money instead of, I don't know why they marked this up so much just for a cable. $95 you're going to spend for this cable. Anyways, that's it guys. Like and subscribe, and that's it. Bye.